Alright guys, welcome back to the ZIMM'S Guitars YouTube channel. We are a small guitar restring music channel, and basically most of my videos are me restringing a guitar. And today we have a Gibson Les Paul Studio, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I got my hands on a Gibson Studio. She's got some dust on it. She's got some little chippage right here. The doesn't look like it's ever had a headstock injury. It says Made in USA on the back, 22291. Grover tuners on here. We do have some scratches and stuff on here. This is kind of a player's grade guitar. If we look on the back here, again, we got scratches here. We got some scratches here. And just some typical scratchiness on here. Let's do this real quick. Before we get going too much, let's test on the electronics a little bit. The electronics sound good. Okay, but the big kicker on this one is our bridge. Let me zoom in on this thing. Our bridge is totally collapsed and it's totally broken. So look at that thing. So the guitar is literally unplayable right now because of this bridge. Now, you've heard stories about this happening to different guitars. We've all heard the stories. This is the first one that I've seen that has completely collapsed like this. But I have the Tone Pros System 2, Simply Better by Design. And so I have a bridge. So hopefully this will lay right down in there and it will solve this problem. I might have to change the studs. I'm not exactly sure yet. So let's get the strings off of it. We'll do all the typical stuff where I kind of look at these fret ends and maybe do a little fret end filing. We'll super clean the fretboard. We'll change this bridge out. We'll polish the guitar. And of course we do, I already checked the truss rod under here, and it does have the good Gibson. It's not a copy. This is the real deal. It's got the brass nut underneath here, and I already put the tool on there and tested the truss rod. Before I bought the guitar, that's the first thing I do is test the truss rod. And so let's go ahead, and I've had my Ernie Ball Power Peg Pro string winder charging up all day. So we're going to loosen all 6 of these strings and pull these babies off of here. The neck does look nice and straight, and so the neck looks good. I think we're going to be in good shape on this thing if I can get that bridge on there. Take the tailpiece off. Advanced plating. I think that's what should be under there. Let's go up here and place these, get these off of here. They didn't use a Gibson wrap. They just put the strings on normally, which I appreciate. I don't like that over, under, and back through thing. Okay, here we go. Let me get the camera down here. Take a look at this, and this should just lift right off there. Super easy. It is cracked. Oh, look at that. Crazy. It's cracked. Alright, so this piece looks a little bent. This one, I'm going to take these out. And I am going to see if the Tone Pro ones will set right down in there perfectly. These look like they're mounted in there nicely. Everything looks good. They seem tight. Okay, let's open this up. So this is supposed to be an upgrade, according to Tone Pros. They've really got it wrapped up tight in here. Tone Pros stamped right on the back. Put my scissors away. Okay, get that out of the way. It came with a little Allen wrench. Okay, so I'm going to take these pieces off the bottom. Okay, and let's see if it will fit down in there. And it does, just that easy. Do the same thing to this one. Just that easy. Set that out. Fits perfectly. So after we get the strings on it, then we will adjust this and check the intonation. I see all the saddles are pretty much straight across, but actually the G string is pulled back a little bit, but we'll have to intonate the whole thing. But that worked pretty good. So I was able to get in this guitar at a relatively good price because this thing was broken, and I told the guy, man, this is unplayable. And so I got it at a good price. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this off to the side. And let's just take a look at these frets. We'll hydrate the fretboard and clean it all up really good. And just going to clean on it for a few minutes. Alright, so I've got my StewMac fret end file, and it's got one side that's kind of rounded, and then it's got one side that's flat. I take the rounded side and put it down here on the edge, and I just sort of kind of hit these fret ends. One swipe is all I do on most of the used guitars that I'm trying to resell. That's what this one is. This thing will be for sale here shortly. But I just kind of one swipe. This guitar does not have binding like a lot of the Les Pauls do. They have the binding and the nibs, binding nibs, but this one does not have that. So I have no fear. I'm just going to go down here and hit these fret ends real quick. I'm not worried about ruining the binding or anything like that. Now there's a lot of Les Pauls where you have to be really careful not to damage your binding, but I think on this one we are good to give it one swipe like this. And the whole idea of this is to make these guitars feel awesome when somebody picks this guitar up. We want it to just feel really nice under their fingers. We want the setup to be perfect. And basically that's how I'm able to sell guitars, is to have a perfect setup on there. So there's that real good. And then I also have one of those Stumac microfiber cloths, microfiber pad. Run this along the side a little bit. And really makes those really good. So there's never any fear of cutting yourself, nothing like that. And there's no fear of doing any damage to the side of the fingerboard. It's pretty good. Alright, so let's do some of this Music Nomad F1 oil. I use this stuff almost on every guitar. Music Nomad cleans, conditions, protects, 100% natural oil, petroleum and wax free. And then I keep a little sponge up here. And one of my viewers said, hey man, just leave a sponge and use it all the time. And I've been doing that. So I read most of the comments that you guys leave. And I take your guys' advice a lot of times. I listen to what you guys say. You guys give me advice. I listen to it and I take it most of the time. Alright, so I'm going to just let that set there for a minute. And then I'm going to, over here I got my microfiber cloths. And so we're going to reach down in here and hope to find a somewhat of a clean one. Every once in a while I'll take this whole bag of them home and I'll wash them all. Okay. Got a little Gibson guitar polish. And honestly, this guitar polish was gifted to me by one of my viewers. So there again, thank you. Let's go along here and just kind of shine this baby up. Still got its original pick guard, scratch plate. You see those missing a lot. Should we open this up and see what kind of a pickup is in? You know what? We're this close. We might as well do that. Let me grab my screwdriver. Let's take a look under here and let's just see what this pickup looks like, just to make sure that it is a Gibson pickup. I can see that it has adjustable pole pieces, and pretty sure as long as we find a still braided wire, pretty sure we can tell that it's Gibson right off the bat. And we can also look and see if there's a little patent applied for tag or anything like that on here. See if this will lift out of here real quick and easy. And yeah. Alright, so I'm not seeing the steel braided wiring, but I see a tag that says Gibson USA. And right here, 490R from August 31st of 2021. And the serial number on the back has a 22. So I'm going to say the pickups are from 2021. The guitar's from 2022. But there it is, Gibson USA, a 490R. And it probably has the, whatever the one that also came as a good match set. So that's good to see. Oh, and in the cavity, the TN is a oh, I know what that's the color. So a TN is a A T-burst, a T. Leave me some comments what this color is. The iced tea burst? Something like that. I can't keep track of all of them. Screw these babies back down. It's not the iced tea one. Those are a darker brown. Okay. There we go. And then we've left that F1 oil on here for a long time. So then I just take a paper napkin and I wipe the excess off. There we go. Got some of that dirt out of there. Let's go ahead and hit the headstock. Wait, I'm going to use this for that. Very nice. Okay, and got my 10mm wrench that I always use up here just to snug the tuners. And these were really loose, so there we go. That's always a good idea. Check your tuners. Okay, nice. Alright, now as a little extra effort to make the frets look really nice, I take my fretboard guard and a little 1000 grit sandpaper. And I just really lightly sort of come along here and hit these frets. This guitar is not very old, and I'm not seeing any fret wear on these frets, so that is a good sign. They're not very tall frets. I'm going to say they're just regular, not even jumbo frets. I'm going to say, because it's a studio, I'm going to say these are just the kind of small and narrow frets. Alright guys, so I got the guitar flipped over on its face, and I'm seeing little dents in here. That's a pretty good one. So what I'm going to try to do now, let me zoom in a little bit here. Maybe you guys can see this. Yes, we have dents right here. So I'm going to try to do the whole thing where I've heated up my soldering iron. And rumor is that if you lay a wet cloth on here, you can somehow get this wood to expand underneath here. And it'll pull that wood out a little bit. I don't think that did it right there. Let me try right here. Can hear it sizzling. But I think, again, it's better for doing it on a fingerboard, like a rosewood board that maybe has little dents in it, that doesn't have a finish on it, because I'm kind of destroying the finish on here. But I think it sort of kind of worked. So let me just buff on that a little bit and see, maybe I should use a little bit of, I think I'm just going to try to buff on it for a little while with some of this McGuire's, maybe a little bit of this stuff. I'm guessing right now, guys. But you can see it's a little bit flatter, but we've kind of messed up the finish. Let me see what a little of this McGuire's on there will do. Okay, got a little white polish here. It feels kind of rough. I think I just sort of melted some of the finish that was on the back. It did swell it up though, but again, the finish on the back kind of feels like I melted it a little bit. But it did actually swell the wood up a little. I don't know if that was an epic fail or if that was okay. I could maybe try a little, maybe I'll do a little bit of a little wet sandpaper. Let's see what that does. Okay, a little bit of water on there. And I've got a little tiny bit of some wet sandpaper. Now this might make the finish look worse, but when you're playing the guitar, it might make it play better and feel better under your finger. And that's kind of my goal here. Okay, got a little bit more polishing compound again. And again, I'm just trying to get the playability of this guitar to be a lot better, because if a guy comes in and starts strumming on it, I want these little scratches and little dents on the back to be as minimal as possible when the guy's playing it. Well, I don't know. I can't tell if it's any better, but it doesn't look like we hurt the finish. Let me bring you guys in close so you can look. So this one, it feels better. This is the worst of them. This one, pretty much, you can just barely feel that one now. And this one feels a little better. I think this is some of the, that almost feels like some of the finish feels really kind of soft. Okay, I know I'm taking way too long in this video looking at this, but I think I might have made it a little bit better. So when a guy's got it all strung up and he's playing on it, it feels a little bit better. So maybe it's not going to be, a lot of guys will be like, no, I can't, I'm not going to buy that thing because of those dents. But maybe it feels a little bit better now. Okay, so it's time for strings. Go ahead and roll the string jingle. Today's string choice. This beautiful Gibson Les Paul Studio is going to get a pack of Ernie Ball Turbo Slinkies, 9.5 through 46. Little tiny bit lighter gauge than a standard regular Slinky. Sometimes to me 10 gauge strings seem a little heavy. So we're going to try the 9.5. Okay, so before I get too far, because this is a Gibson, we're going to put a little dab of some of this Tune It. And I'm pretty sure this stuff is just like a petroleum jelly or something. And you put it down here in the nut to kind of help to lubricate the nut so that hopefully it'll help it to stay in tune and the strings will travel through the nut. So you definitely want to put this stuff in the G string slot. Okay, that's way too much. But I'm just going to kind of lube it up really good here. There we go. And then I'll wipe off the excess. But hopefully that will... They always tell you to lube the nut. Okay. Our A string is a 36. This guitar is looking good. Okay, let's do this now. I have my notched straight edge. And this is a 24 3/4 inch scale length. You set this across here, and you kind of look underneath here to see how much string height, how much relief in the neck there is. And I'm seeing a good amount. So let's get up here and take this truss rod cover off, and let's tighten our truss rod just a tad. Okay, so as you can see down in here, we've got the brass nut on there. And that is a sign of a real Gibson guitar. If you've got a Gibson and it does not have that, there's a really good chance that it is a copy. Put that on there. Make sure it's nice and tight on there. And let's just snug that. There we go. That moved nice. And then I'm going to put my straight edge back on it. And let's check and see how much relief there is in it. Still got a little bit, so I'm going to just give it a little tiny bit more. Oh yeah, that turned real good. One more time with the notch straight edge. Very good. Maybe just a slight too tight, because we have a little tiny bit of backbone now to it, but we're not all the way in full string tension, so let's tune it up. Okay, now that we've got that the strings nice and to pitch, we're going to look right one more time at our neck relief. And we've got a little tiny bit of relief in the neck, which is, it's going to play nice. It's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put this truss rod cover back on. All right, so here it is, the 2022 Les Paul that I bought used. It is shined up. It's got the new bridge in it. The bridge went in really nicely. It's got the Gibson pickups, the trapezoid inlays. The dents on the back are sort of just, it helped a little bit doing that whole wet rag and the soldering iron bit to it. Instead of having dents in it now, it's just got like scratches, so it did kind of pull it up a little bit. And let's go ahead and listen to what she sounds like here. Center position. Up in the neck. Three-way switch works fine. All right, guys, so there it is, 2022 Gibson Les Paul Studio. We shined it up a little bit. It's a player-grade guitar. It looks really nice on the camera. Trapezoid inlays, Les Paul Studio. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching the videos. Go ahead and do all that YouTube stuff for me. Like, comment, subscribe. Think about being a Patreon member, channel member. I have links in the description below where you can get yourself a ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt. I happen to be wearing one today. And we have an Amazon link down there and all kinds of stuff. Leave comments. Everything's cool. Thank you guys. See you in the next video.